movies? Are we gonna be on the movies?
Hey friendlies, it's Carolyn and Capone. I hope you can see him, and welcome back to our RV life. It's a big day. Guess what today is? It's April 1st, and it is my 1-year anniversary, woohoo, of living in an RV. Wow, I cannot believe it has been a year. So I'm gonna share some thoughts with you, wow, looking back on my last year and some of the things that I have learned along the way. This is gonna be more of one of my heart-to-heart talks rather than a RV adventure living how-to video. So for those of you who tune in to watch my travels and get tips on RVing, it's not what this video is going to be about. So you might just want to go ahead and skip this because you probably won't be interested. But for those of you who are as interested in what I'm realizing lately, my channel is as much about the inner journey of living in an RV or otherwise as it is about the outer journey of traveling and experiencing life in an RV and life on the road. So those of you who are interested in the inner journey and the path to personal growth and introspection and learning and growing, which is the process that I share with all of you openly. I've shared my history with you. I've shared my present, my past, my future with you, and that's what this video is going to be about. So what have I learned in my first year on the road? This is going to be a rare video shooting inside. It's rainy and cloudy outside. It has been for a few days, but it's beautiful. But so what have I learned my first year on the road? What is the biggest thing that I have learned? So a couple of things. First of all, I think I'm going to be doing a series of videos all month long about my first year on the road. Later I'll do later I'll do maybe the top 5 things I've learned. Also I have a surprise, and I want you guys to help me with this. I'm going to do something really, really big, really big. Well, in my opinion, it's really big for my first year anniversary, something to mark and commemorate this forever change in my life. And that's going to come up, I'm hoping to get that done sometime this month. So if you guys want to play along, why don't you guess what it's going to be? I'm going to take you with me. Again, I'd like to try another live event, but last time I tried that, it didn't work out so well, so I don't want to promise anything. If I can do a live event, I will. If not, then I'll just film it and take you with me. So can you guess what my big plans are to commemorate and celebrate my first year on the road? Any guesses to what that is? Leave your guesses in the comments. It'll be fun to read what you guys think I will do for my first year anniversary. So what's the biggest thing I have learned being on the road the last year? It's been a whole month of kind of really introspection and thinking about my life. And as I've said in a lot of videos, balance has been on my mind a lot. But I think if there's one lesson that I have learned that I think is a really valuable lesson to share with you, is that no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you take you with you. Living in an RV didn't magically change my life. I mean, it did. I mean, I'm not living in an apartment anymore, but I still have a lot of the challenges of me. A lot of you have seen me struggle with the negative comments and the vitriol that I have experienced on the channel. That's very much a reflection on me, and that's very much a reflection on work that I still have to do on myself. So I didn't magically get 100% happy all the time moving into an RV. Challenges didn't magically disappear, and in fact, they increased exponentially living in a 23-year-old RV. So a lot of people, a lot of us might think, and I've fallen into this myself, a lot of us might think, oh, if only I could X, Y, or Z, then my life will be great. Is my life better? Yeah, it is, because I am living in a way that I feel is more authentic to who I really am. But that doesn't mean it's perfect. That doesn't mean that it doesn't come without challenges. Yeah, I am happier. I get to explore. I get to face challenges almost on a daily basis, whether it's my RV breaking down or a windstorm or taking care of Capone. I don't know if you can see him. Look at him. Or actually, I'm going to give him a pillow. Do you want a pillow? Would that be better? Here. How's that? Is that better? No, that's worse. Okay. So, or whatever it is, I still have challenges that I probably even more so that I have to experience living on the road. So no matter what you do, no matter what we do in life, we always take us with us, with ourselves. So yeah, I think that I had visions of this life being more relaxing, more downtime, more free time, more hiking, more backpacking, etc. But the bottom line is I still brought my very strong work ethic, and I still brought my entrepreneurial spirit with me, as many of you know. And in fact, I'm working more than I was even before, when the whole goal really was to work less, earn less, live on less so that I could earn less. But I mean, there are habits that we have accumulated, that we have learned over a lifetime, don't go away overnight. And so even out here, I'm still growing, I'm still learning. And that reminds me, I want to address another thing. A lot of comments lately on my intro, and some of you have written to me both publicly and privately and said, wow, you really think a lot of yourself, don't you? Wow, you really think highly of yourself, don't you? What's up with that intro? You're trying to make people feel inferior. You're really bragging. So I wanted to address that, because I can see how some people who are just landing on my channel and who view that, I can see how you might think that, I'm just tooting my own horn and then I'm bragging. I can see that. And I think those of you who have been around a while and have heard my story, and I know there are a lot of you who've been here since day one, so thank you. And those of you who have heard my story, bits and pieces, or even read my story on my blog, understand that that intro is not about bragging. That is not what I'm doing at all. In fact, it's almost the opposite. That intro is my story. And my story is about how I came from a horrific childhood, and how I spent my life denying that and running toward the exact opposite of what I was raised in. And I've mentioned before, I think, I went to 13 different elementary schools. So I really think that in my blood, I think I was meant to be a nomad. I love travel. I love new places. I love adventure. But because of the horror behind the scenes in my life, I denied that part of me, because I wanted to be the exact opposite of everything that I was raised with. I mean, the exact opposite. So I never lived in a house growing up. Trailers, apartments, etc. We never lived in a house. Both parents dropped out of high school, 9th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, or something like that. Both parents dropped out of high school. I had no role models in my life whatsoever. The only thing I knew of what a normal family should look like is what I saw on TV. Brady Bunch, for example, right? Yeah, Brady, actually, I'm just thinking Partridge Family. They lived in a bus, right? Pretty much. They had a house, but they lived in a bus. So that's also an interesting example. But what I thought normal was a house, a career, an education. I mean, that's because those are the ones that I looked up to on the television, because my life was so chaos. I was looking for outside stories or my life was so chaos that I knew that wasn't normal, I guess, and I was looking for normal. So I spent my whole adult life chasing normal. I spent my whole life chasing the exact opposite of everything that I had. So I spent a lifetime, I have to prove something. I have to prove I am not that. And I worked my ass off to prove I am not that. I worked to put myself through college, 2 jobs to put myself through college. And then I thought, oh, I have to have a career. And then I thought, oh, I have to be a member of society, of my community, join the Chamber of Commerce. And I was kind of starting to work on a path towards local politics. And being on boards, actually, that was something I did for myself. I volunteered and I was on the board of directors of nonprofits for child abuse awareness and, mentor still a little girl through Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Those are things actually that I did want to do. But that was all part of a life of being exactly what what I was running away from. So that part of my story, so I got all those things. I achieved what I thought meant success. That's what I thought. If I achieve all those things, I will have made it. I will have broken the chains, the bonds, the patterns of my past and my family, and I will be somebody. So for years, I chased an ego-driven life. And I got there, and I was miserable. I was drinking myself to death, literally. And, eventually I got sober and divorced my husband and lost the house. But literally, I had to achieve all those things to figure out that wasn't what I wanted. And that is what my intro is about. So if you pay attention to the full intro, the first half, and it sounds to me like a lot of people who think I'm just tooting my own horn or who are feeling inferior by me showing what I've accomplished in life are only focusing on the first half. The second half shows I went from all of those things, success, to a 23-year-old RV, which is what the second to the last shot is. The hidden meaning there is that it didn't do shit for me, basically. All of that success, I still lived paycheck to paycheck. All of that success, and I'm still living in a 23-year-old RV because my budget was $10,000 when I decided to leave it all behind. That is the hidden meaning in my intro. It's not about tooting my own horn. It's about showing the fallacy, I guess. It's about showing the ridiculousness of that life. That's what it's about. My intro is about showing how, in my humble opinion, and I say I finally woke up, because for me, I had to realize chasing what society told me to chase, what media tells us to chase, what our whole world tells us we should have, all of that in order to be somebody. My intro is about showing how I finally woke up and realized I don't need that to be somebody. All I need to be somebody is to be true to my authentic self, to be closer to nature, to live my authentic, true, free, nomad, 13 elementary school going self. And it took a lot of work. So I hope that clears up for you, a lot of you who think that my intro is just about bragging. I almost think it's exactly the opposite. I'm kind of showing the ridiculousness of that life and showing that it took all of that, though, to get me here. In all my glory, in 23-year-old Matilda, with all her creaks and problems and breakdowns. So yeah, that is that's what I've learned in my first year on the road, that no matter what, I'm always gonna have me. I'm always gonna have to continue to work on myself. I'm always gonna have challenges. This is not a vacation. A lot of people think that this is a vacation, especially the people who don't understand Patreon. This isn't a vacation. I work hard, and that doesn't change. For the people who are retired, great. They get more free time. And so, those of us who are still working age, it's not a big vacation. It's life. It is. I think that's the biggest lesson. Whether you live in an RV or a house, it's still life. I still have to support myself. I still have to buy food and gas and take care of Capone and health and mental health and all of those things. So, I guess the other thing that I have really grasped onto in my year on the road, and this is something that's been coming up also a lot in the comments, and it just kind of makes me laugh. Actually, it's always come up. Why don't you do something with your hair? Why don't you buy some clothes? And actually stay to the end. I make fun of myself a little bit on that. I'm really embracing my new lifestyle. I've said this before, that my whole life before was about an image. It was about ego. I grew up poor. And I got bullied and made fun of like crazy in school for wearing Big Yank jeans. If any of you on the East Coast know of Big Yanks instead of Levi's, couldn't afford the nice Nikes and things like that. So my whole life was in pursuit of stuff. My whole life was in pursuit of wearing the expensive name brand stuff because I felt that if I had all that, I would be somebody. And kind of with this whole theme of this video, I really thought buying my expensive $400 handbags and my expensive shoes, I thought that would make me somebody. I really did. And again, that goes back to my intro. My intro kind of shows that ego-driven life. That is, that's not what my life is about today. My life today is about, again, being closer to nature and being closer to my true self. And that means I live out here by myself 90% of the time. I don't, and then sometimes I turn on the camera and I talk to all of you. I don't care about having fake long eyelashes. I don't care about having my eyebrows filled in anymore. I don't care about having to put on spend 15 minutes putting on my face in the morning. For me, that's just me. I'm more comfortable now just being natural, and mostly because I'm by myself. And now even when I do go into town, I actually have a box of makeup I don't think I've touched in a year. So I'm really going to have to throw that away. But those things just don't matter to me anymore. The clothes that I wear, they don't matter to me anymore. And in fact, again, stay to the end. I might have a new business idea. I hope you think it was as funny as I do. At the end, I'm going to show you. I was goofing off the other day. So that is, that's my summary, I guess, of today, celebrating my first year on the road. Life has changed in as far as how it looks and what the scenery looks like, and maybe even a little bit, I get, actually on a day-to-day basis, most of the time it doesn't even look that different. I just get to walk in prettier places when I go take my breaks from work. And last night I got to sit outside and have a fire. And so as far as that stuff, yeah, it's changed a little bit. But as far as, just being me and learning to be me, and navigating the world being me, that stuff hasn't changed. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm still exploring and still learning a lot by trial and error, and that's never going to change. But that is kind of sums up, I guess. I hope I said something. I talked a lot. I'm not sure I said anything. So I look forward to spending the next year with all of you and continuing to explore and grow and share that inner journey. For those of you who are interested in the inner journey, sharing all of that with you. And I know there are a lot of you out there, and I know that there are a lot of you out there who can relate to my story on some level. It may not be the exact details, but you still relate on some level. And stay tuned for how I'm going to celebrate and commemorate my first year, and leave your comments about what you think it's going to be. So thank you very much for being here. Until next time, always remember, be happy, be free, please be kind. It's a lot easier and it takes a lot less energy to be kind. All right, I'll see you all soon. Thank you. Happy anniversary. Ta-da, what do you think? Wait. So yeah, I think I'm going to start my own fashion line, and I'm going to call it Hobo Chic. What do you think? This is how I went for my walk this morning. And I looked down and I was like, wow, I have changed. Boy, have I changed. I think almost everything I'm wearing came from a thrift store too, which is one of the goals I set for myself when I decided to live in an RV. Not only to live a simpler life on less money, but also less waste. And by shopping at thrift stores, I'm buying less brand new. So this is my hobo chic thrift store outfit. What do you think? Do I have a future in fashion or what?